Our best buddies, John Beaver is the CEO and president of BIOLASE, B-I-O-L. I have a story for you.
Okay.
So I have been with the same dentist for probably 20 years. And guess what's happening? He's retiring. Dentists retire.
They do?
Eventually.
Eventually they do. And I wasn't even prepared. And what's the first thing I did? I went onto the BIOLASE site. You can go to biolase.com. I typed in my zip code to find out which dentists in my area had BIOLASE.
Yes.
And there's all kinds here in San Diego, North County, San Diego. So my first appointment with my new dentist that has BIOLASE, I can't remember their name, is coming up next week.
Congratulations. Welcome to the 21st century.
Thank you. You know what?
You go.
Getting that 8-track tape installed tomorrow. Hey, John, great to see you. You are the world's leading dental laser company, and you have, as evidenced by everything from your market cap to your stock to your news, you guys are growing by leaps and bounds. What is, this is usually the last question I ask you when you're on with us. What is next for you guys? I mean, is there another frontier that you guys could capture, or just keep growing this and growing this?
You know, Sully, the market opportunity in lasers for dentistry is so great that we just stay focused there.
Yeah.
You know, I've said before that just in the U.S., where 60% of our sales are, even if we get 1% more penetration, it's $50 million of revenue to us, and that doesn't include the follow-on consumables. So stay the course. This will be the gold standard of dentistry soon, and we're poised to take advantage of that.
Let me tell you anecdotally, the dentist himself called me back when he saw my name was on the list, because we have a pretty big footprint here in San Diego and Los Angeles. And he said, hey, are you the same Sully? Same Sully. Looking forward to seeing you. I go, let me ask you a question, because I told him the story.
Right.
I go, and I gave you, so you guys have a referral credit. You'll probably be getting a phone call. I said, I go, without giving me numbers, is your revenue better than the guy next door because of this? He goes, 100%. We are taking in 35% more business. Do you find that to be the case across the board? Is that a big number?
Absolutely, and it's really one of two things, or a combination of two things. Either they're getting more patients, because patients, more so today than ever, are seeking out less invasive forms of medical care. And so, less pain, less invasiveness, all that stuff. So the patient traffic helps. But also a lot of general practitioners are using our laser to do procedures that they weren't doing before, that they would refer out to specialists and so forth, because our laser makes those procedures that much easier to do.
Yeah.
They're keeping that revenue in-house.
With how big this has been a game changer for people looking for dental care, is this taught in any dental schools in the nation? Will it soon be taught how to use the laser?
It's funny you should mention that. We're actually having a board meeting next week, and we're discussing our education and university strategy. We're in now 16 dental schools in the U.S. in their curriculum. So what we found also is, BIOLASE's been around a while, and we had a habit of just giving lasers away to dental schools, and they would go into a closet somewhere not being used. It was crazy. So now we've changed that, where we actually need buy-in from the dental school. If they're serious about incorporating this, they buy the laser. And so
it's almost like a farm club, right?
It is.
It's like high A-ball,
Yeah.
right? They're putting you out there, and all of a sudden they get to learn. And they're saying, why wouldn't I use this in my own practice, right?
Well, and a lot of dentists coming out of school today are not going into practice for themselves immediately, right? So they're coming out with, $300,000 to $400,000, $500,000 of student debt. They're going to, for the most part, going to corporate dentistry, what we call DSOs, dental service organizations. We're also playing in that field too. So we have various trials in 4 of the 5 largest DSOs in the U.S. So we not only get them at school, we get them at their first job at the DSO. So when they are ready to strike out their own, that's only dentistry they know.
It's another tool in their toolbox.
Right.
Right. They don't have to, take time to learn.
Yeah, you know what I want to see also is the next time you're on the air, I want to play that video we did when we did a field trip with you. Because now, was that field trip just a visit to a dentist, or was that a pitching field trip? Did you go out there to pitch the product? Do you remember?
So it's all the above.
No kidding.
So we, your videographer stayed with us all day.
Yeah.
And so we went to current customers. We went to future customers, because everybody's either a customer or a future customer, right?
Sure.
And we also, visited just cold calls.
Yeah.
And so it was great. We have 27 territory managers in the U.S. I've spent a day riding along with 17
How
of
many
them so far.
CEOs of public companies do ride-alongs with their sales?
I can't imagine anybody that wouldn't do that.
It's
right?
just
Especially
amazing.
when
I've
we're
never
selling
even
to the
heard of it
customer.
until you said that. That's amazing.
So I have 10 left for the rest of the year. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. What's the so we talked about adoption before. Why wouldn't every dentist want this? Because obviously there's an acquisition cost, but but there's also an opportunity cost here, in my opinion, because this is going to pay for itself in short order. Plus, it's going to get more patients. And it's like you said, when you take the fear factor out of dentistry, when you take the pain factor out, no, this isn't like the old days. It's new. Like for example, periodontal surgery. I talked to a friend of mine who had periodontal surgery, meaning they had to kind of cut their gums back to get their several years of not going to the dentist, plaque and stuff like that.
Sure.
This is exactly what this thing's made for.
Absolutely. Right? And so yes, why would dentists not want to buy the laser?
Yeah.
It's uncertainty. It's I hear all the time, John, I'm not sure if I can learn how to use it. I'm not sure if I can make money at it.
Yeah.
And so that was really the advent of the trial program that we started. So we've now sold 130 lasers through the trial program with over a 50% adoption rate. So it's been hugely successful.
The pain factor you guys talk about. By the way, John Beaver's our guest again today, President and CEO of BIOLASE. You can go to biolase.com, and they're publicly traded under the stock symbol BIOL. When you talk about pain and pain-free dentistry, you hear that on the radio all the time. People advertise their dentistry, but you guys really have reduced the fear and the pain out of this. Is it because the laser heals as it's working? How does that talk to us?
So a couple of different ways that you reduce that pain and that invasiveness of the procedure. One is instead of a scalpel, you're doing it with a laser. Let's say you're cutting back tissue. It's just less invasive, and the laser energy actually heals the tissue better
as
it's cutting.
Wow.
Light. I mean, we all know light has healing powers, right?
Sure.
So it's the same thing. And then you mentioned the periodontal surgery where you're opening up the flap. A lot of times we don't have to open the flap up at all because we can go subgingivally down with our laser tip and clean all that crap out there.
Yeah, because look, the guy said, look, I hadn't been to the dentist in 10 years.
Right.
Okay? I'm a guy who goes every 3 months, by the way. I don't know. My parents got me on that when I was a kid. I never stopped. But this guy hadn't gone for 10 years.
Yes.
Now imagine the cooties that grow beneath the gum line after 10 years, right? And I guess he went in and he was going to have a conversation with his guy, and they talked about cutting the thing back and this and that. And I said, no, so let's go to this website here. And that's one of the things that look at, if you're a professional, it's easy. But if you're a dental patient, one of the things to look at, of course, is to find yourself a new dentist that has it.
There's a better way.
Yeah, better way. Last of all, before you let you get out of here, what's the rest of your year look like for you?
Well, finish up the ride-alongs. Also, we have just signed a lease for our first ever, what we're calling model dental office. So we're gonna have a dental office at our corporate headquarters, see real patients.
No kidding.
And bring doctors in from all over to have over-the-shoulder training.
So smart.
And also, we'll be able to get a lot of video testimonials and video footage of
we need to be up there for that.
Yeah,
We'll
that's gonna be great. Hopefully, it's gonna be open in the first quarter of next year.
John Beaver for president. All right, we'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Good stuff. John Beaver. BIOL, BIOL, biolase.com.